All right. The Celtics get back in the win column tonight, beating the Orlando Magic 92 to 79. That is after the embarrassment of Monday night's game against Chicago, where the Celtics at home squandered an 18-point lead in like 2 minutes somehow and ended up losing by 14 in what was one of the more embarrassing Celtics losses I can remember. And then following that game, you had comments from Marcus Smart saying Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown need to pass the ball more. And the team had a team only meeting today before the game, a players only meeting, I should say, that apparently was very emotional and did not go well, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. And so, not everything great in Celtics land. If you had listened to my last show, I spent a good 10 minutes just ripping into the team. I have not stopped doing that on Twitter. And just because the Celtics won today does not mean I feel any differently about what is going on with this team right now versus how I felt on Monday night. Obviously, you don't want to lose to a team like the Magic, who are not good and are completely in rebuild mode and have a ton of young players there. So it's obviously not a game that you wanted to lose if you wanted to just sink even further down. I mean, there's no game the Celtics are capable of not losing this year. So sure, they could have lost tonight, but they did win. It wasn't pretty. It was low scoring, like I said, final 92 to 79, very low scoring for an NBA game. In addition to that, outside of really Jalen Brown and somewhat Al Horford at times, and well, I guess not really Al Horford, Rob Williams. No one really shot particularly well on either side. It was not a pretty game, but the Celtics definitely did get a win. That's the takeaway. They did indeed win the basketball game. Um, but big picture, I would be paying a lot more attention to the fact that they had a team meeting, a players only meeting again right before the game, and it didn't go well. I'm paying a lot more attention to the fact that Marcus Smart called out Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, and that Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, after that embarrassing loss on Monday, decided not to talk to the media, and that the team looks like they are devoid of real direction or leadership. I'd be paying more attention to those things than I would to a win on a Wednesday night against the Orlando Magic. But again, you play the games, you play to win the game, as Herm Edwards famously once said when he was the head coach of the Jets. Not really the franchise model for winning games, but he did, in fact, coin that phrase. You play to win the game. And the Celtics did that tonight. So let's get into the box score before we get a little more takeaways and I respond to what some of you guys are saying in the chat. Leonard, I see you. What's going on, bud? Celtics starters tonight were Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Rob Williams, Marcus Smart, and Jalen Brown. MVP of the team definitely tonight was Jalen Brown. He played 32 minutes, shot 10 of 17 from the floor, 3 of 8 from 3, 5 of 7 from the free throw line. He had 5 boards, 3 assists, a steal, and 28 points. Really good game for Jalen Brown. A nice bounce back game for him. Jason Tatum, not so good. Again, he's been not great to start the year. 34 minutes for Tatum, 4 of 16 from the floor, not good. Horrible, 1 of 6 from 3. 5 of 8 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, 14 points for Jason Tatum. After I finish with this box score, I'm going to talk a lot about Jason Tatum because I'm seeing some very concerning signs from him. Al Horford, another very solid performance from Big Al, 20, who seems to have found the fountain of youth with the Celtics. 26 minutes for him, 3 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. 12 boards, 7 assists, a steal, 3 blocks, and 12 points. A very well-rounded performance from Al Horford, who continues to do things on both ends of the court that are really, really nice to see. Rob Williams, solid game from him, 30 minutes, 6 of 8 from the floor. He had 6 rebounds, which is a little low. I'd like it to be higher, but Al Horford was doing a nice job on the glass. No assists, not a surprise there. Steal, a block, and 12 points for Rob. Marcus Smart, the 2 days after making that comment, again, he made that comment in context about passing the ball more when he had, I believe it was one or 0 assists as the starting point guard the other night. I think it was 1. Not good. 33 minutes for Marcus Smart tonight, 3 for 8 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block, 8 points. Not much to write the home about for Marcus Smart. Doesn't seem like he really changed his game all that much from making those comments. So, man, doesn't seem like it's going very well with Marcus Smart. Everybody, with the exception of Ennis Cantor and Jabari Parker, played in this game. I really don't know what to make of Cantor not playing at all in like any game, or Parker getting inconsistent minutes. Udoka, just his rotations and is all over the point, all over the place. Not a lot of contributions off the bench, with the exception of Dennis Schroeder playing 26 minutes. He went 4 of 11 from the floor, 0 of 4 from three, though. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and 8 points for Schroeder, who was okay, not great tonight. Not anything special. Only other thing to really mention is that Aaron Nesmith got some garbage time, 2 minutes of garbage time, scores his first points of the season, 1 of 1 from the floor. It was a 3-pointer. I would like to see Aaron Nesmith play more. I don't understand why he plays 2 minutes and Romeo Langford plays 17. I think Neesmith's the better of the two players, but that's just this one man's opinion. So overall, the Celtics again win 92-79. That is in big part because of the third quarter, which typically has hurt the Celtics. This third quarter, though, they outscored the Orlando Magic 31-10 and didn't look back from there. So that's the box score. Let's talk about Jason Tatum a little bit. Again, not a great performance from him tonight, and that's off the back of not another great performance. He has not shot the ball well at all this season. To me, I think everybody agrees he's the most talented player on the team. It's hard to argue that. Uh, but I I don't think he plays a game that's conducive to winning team basketball. Sap said this on the Pick and Roll NBA podcast with Jed and Sap that I do, a couple times every week. If you listen to that show, if not, check it out. But he compared Jason Tatum to Carmelo Anthony, which you think on level you're like, okay, wow, Carmelo just got voted as a top 75 all time player and is really high up on the scoring list. That's great. But then you look at what Carmelo's accomplished in his career as a member of a team, and it's not very much at all. And so I'm starting to worry about that comparison being really true, and that Jason Tatum may put up all these great individual numbers and accolades, but the way he plays, specifically on the offensive end, is not conducive to winning a lot of basketball games or a lot of team success. I just think he's turned into a little bit of a black hole offensively, to the point where he's only looking to shoot, and he's only really looking to shoot 3-pointers. A lot of them are contested. Once he gets the ball, he's not passing all that much. So Marcus Smart did have something to say about that, obviously, at the end of that Chicago game, and I think he's right there. I just don't like the way he went about it. I don't think you air your dirty laundry in public. And Marcus Smart has plenty of things that he's doing wrong that he, should be. If he's going to throw other players under the bus, he needs to be criticized for those things too, and criticize himself. So it wasn't so much what he said; it was how and when and why he said it. I also don't think Jaylen Brown deserves any of that blame. I think Brown has been excellent and done everything asked of him as a teammate. But again, talking about Jason Tatum, I I don't see that he is playing with the team at all offensively, and that he's not driving to the rim nearly enough. We've talked about this a lot on the show last year as well, and not getting to the free throw line enough. And when he does drive, he's always looking at the referee like the other guy committed some sort of flagrant atrocity against him. He's driving with the intention of he's going to throw up his hands at the ref no matter what happens. And so when his two things on offense are taking contested jumpers or driving to the basket with the only intention of just trying to draw a foul, that's not really good offense. That's not smart offense. The best way to get good offense in the NBA is to move the ball around. Ball movement creates opportunity and creates easy baskets. And Jason Tatum may have a game where he scores 40 or 50. We've seen it plenty of times before, but he doesn't have games where he gets easy baskets all the time. And because he's so talented, he can still put up a lot of points, taking very difficult shots and making them. But you've seen early in the season when he's not on, which unfortunately has been more often than not so far to start the year, it really bogs the whole team down and results in a really frustrating game to watch and a lot of losses. So Jason Tatum, I think, is a big problem right now, and that's odd to say about the guy who is your best player. But I think he's hurting the team in how he's playing the game right now, and he really wanted Ime Udoka to be the coach of the Celtics. That was his guy. That's fine. The NBA does cater to their stars. I have no problem with that. But Udoka hasn't been able to reach Tatum anymore. In fact, he seems like he's reached him less than Brad Stevens even did. And Tatum's playing this even more selfish brand of basketball where he's not playing any sort of team offense, and his defense is it's okay. He could be better. He's not a sieve defensively, but he's certainly not great. So it's not compensating for anything. So I think Jason Tatum's been a big part of the problem. Tonight was another not great shooting night for him. Fortunately, they played the Magic, and the Magic just aren't very good and not in a position to be competitive right now. And so it didn't hurt the Celtics, but obviously it did against the Bulls, and it's done so in other losses this year. And Marcus Smart again needs to look at himself in the mirror because he's not been helping either. He's been shooting a horrendous percentage, and he was looking for more shots, and he's not been distributing the ball as much as he should as a starting point guard. And he was playing the blame at the feet of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which again, I just don't think Jaylen Brown has really much to do with this. And if he's going to blame Jason Tatum, then he should do so either privately or also blame himself, which he didn't do in that press conference after the game. So all in all, obviously you want to win every game you play, but if fans are thinking just because the Celtics won this game and by a pretty comfortable margin against the Magic means that they've somehow righted the ship a little bit, this is complete fool's gold. Do not buy into this win over the Magic as some sort of cure all or turnaround or inflection point in the season. It's not. Just happened to be a win against a team that's just not very good right now. So that's as much as you can really take away from it. Obviously, the Celtics have a much tougher opponent tomorrow against the Miami Heat in Miami. The Heat are currently have the best record in the NBA. They've been playing phenomenal basketball. I think they're the best defensive team in the NBA. So that should really challenge the Celtics, who have not been moving the ball well, as I just mentioned. If the Celtics can come out of that game with a win, then maybe we can talk about some momentum shift and some positive happenings for the Celtics. But it's a tall task on the second night of a back to back to go into a really hot team and a good team's building, a veteran team's building, and beat them. So we'll have to see. I'll be watching and I'll be back after that game and let you know what happens. But don't take anything from this win besides feel good that it wasn't a loss. That's about as good as you can do. It's not. We didn't lose to the Magic. Hooray. Those are the types of things we're celebrating right now in this season. Hopefully it turns around. I'm not optimistic, but maybe they will prove me wrong tomorrow. In any case, I'll be back then. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Shout out to everybody who watches live and then after the fact. Leonard, I always appreciate you checking me out right when I go on air. Thanks, bud. And I will talk to you guys all later. See ya.